Right, you want to start your trip with a good map, something like this one. It's got landmarks, it's got roads, place names, cows that aren't that important. But it's got a milk tanker, and that is important because if you can hitch a ride on a milk tanker, they crisscross throughout the country. You can see the entire country. You don't have to pay for gas and free milk. Okay, if you end up here, you're probably lost. Clearly, this is not a 4-star hotel. There's no pool. Security doesn't look good. And don't be fooled by the fact that they provided transportation, because that old nag's not going anywhere. Now, this has more potential, however. These ladies out there doing the gardening in their floral frocks, you can strike up a conversation with them. Before you know it, you're invited in for a cup of tea. And my guess is that you can be good for a month or two of free accommodation. Definitely a better bet. Now, most New Zealanders are friendly, but every now and then you knock on a door and you get this. If this happens, my advice is just back away. Don't try to talk them in their native tongue. They've got plenty of their own. Just back off. You'll be fine. Don't worry about the ankle biter. Okay, another thing you got to watch out for is bathroom facilities. They vary greatly. Some of them you get bubble baths, you get wine. Other places they expect you to bathe in mud. Now let me tell you, it doesn't smell good, and it's very difficult to get clean. Now this is a public washroom. This is in Kawakawa, the northern part of New Zealand. This eccentric Austrian artist named Frederick Hundertwasser strolled into town, convinced the locals that he was a bathroom builder, and they fell for it. This is what they ended up with. It's true. Now you need to know what kind of growth you're going to see around New Zealand. There's a bunch of native trees there, nice big ones. The cabbage tree is a misnomer. It does not grow cabbage. The silver fern sprouts on rugby jerseys all over New Zealand. And, of course, my dad's cauliflower. That's not really native, but he's very popular. Now, this photo is dear to my heart because I was raised on a dairy farm in New Zealand. Lots of cows, green grass, lots of cows. And you're also going to see an extremely intelligent, disciplined, loyal, and hardworking farm dog, frequently named boy, girl, or dog. Now, I have to give equal time to the other population in New Zealand. And it behooves me to tell you about my childhood friend named Barbara. She and I were very tight. We used to sunbathe together, it's a true story. She'd get quite hot though, and I set up an umbrella for her. She didn't burn though, she did get hot. Now here's what you're going to be eating when you're down there. Lemon and pyrrhota drink, pavlova, New Zealand invention, can't beat it. You got some Jaffas and pineapple chunks. Get some fruit for health, Vegemite of course, and you wash all that down with a flat white beside a chocolate fish. The correct response is bloody beautiful. Okay, now this is the New Zealand Post Office. You see this is the central dispatch area. This is where they do most of the sorting. The bigger boxes are for the big cities, the smaller ones for the smaller towns. And there's a nice shelf there for packages and such. Free enterprises doing well down there. This is in my hometown on Main Street. I have it on good authority that my cousin Colin is a fine patron when he's not in jail, that is. It is legal. And New Zealanders like to have something they call Kiwi ingenuity. And as you can see here, they've invented the ride-on lawnmower. Now, a couple of years ago, they did introduce the motor to New Zealand. So now these things are kind of going a bit rusty, and they don't have to use these anymore. This is more ingenuity, and it's things that you can do with corrugated iron. Lots of rooftops, of course. Cafes. We've got giant gumboots, humongous sheep, really, and of course station wagons. That's just some of the things that you can do with corrugated iron. Okay, now we're getting into the hazards of New Zealand. I want to caution you, this is in the central thermal area of the North Island of New Zealand, a place called Hell's Gate. And the sign says, warning, persons who throw litter or stones into the thermal pools may be asked to retrieve them. You don't want to do that. And this is another sign. That 100 means how fast you can drive on the beach. Now, if you're holidaying down, you got your sunscreen, you got your towel. You know, you just want to keep your eyes peeled because there may be a dragster or two. And they do throw out some sand. You get some sand. Now, this is another terrible hazard in New Zealand, dartboards. Now, this one, they've been kind enough to provide a sign. Please do not sit on the seat under this dartboard. But there are many other dartboards throughout the country in different establishments that don't have signs. This is New Zealand's most scary beast. We've got the PechaKucha wild boar, the giant weta, the road rooster, oh, they're nasty, and of course the buzzy bee pool toy, which has infiltrated every household in New Zealand with its children. And I'm just saying, you step on that sucker, it stings. Now, I'm very, very proud of this picture. The kiwi is a nocturnal animal and very difficult to photograph. So I was very, very fortunate to get this shot. Not only in its natural habitat, but a nesting one with eggs as well. So, yeah, I just couldn't be more proud. Now, I'll leave you with this last shot. This is the top of the bottom, and this is a place called Cape Reinga, which is the northernmost tip of New Zealand. It's where the Tasman and the Pacific meet. And if you get a canoe or a surfboard, something, you just launch off that hill. You're going to hit that wave where those oceans collide. You're going to have the ride of your life.